morning and welcome to this broadcast. Of course, a practice game taking here today at the beautiful Park Hill playing field where the Windward Islands Volcanoes, they're taking on Team Nepal. Of course, Nepal preparing for the T20 World Cup 2024 being hosted here in the Caribbean. 5 games slated here for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm Anthony Denny, and here with me, of course, is Cecil Charles. So we are into the sixth over. It's 58 for the loss of 1 wicket. The Windward Islands Volcanoes losing their captain Melius, but at the wicket there's Kavem Hodge and Teddy Bishop. Hodge really going at full blast. He's 28 already, and more sedate Bishop. But good morning to you, Cecil.
Good morning, Anthony, and let me say welcome to VC3 and to this broadcast. A good start by the Windwards, going at over 11 runs and over already, having lost their captain very early. So they would want to post a decent total on the card, and it's going to be Hodge, the right-hander. So there's a right-hand, left-hand combination at the crease in Hodge, and Hodge leans on his bat, just waiting as the fielders get into position. Hodge is pulling that right down to deep backward square, who is on the boundary, who fields and returns a single, total now on to 60. We are in over number 6. So Windwards continue to keep the score ticking over, Eddie, and a very good sign.
Definitely, and of course putting this Nepal attack under immediate pressure, and it's a very small ground, and they're really capitalizing and making the best of conditions here.
This outfield well manicured. Gorgeous is looking to work that misses, not taken cleanly by the keeper and taken on the body, but there is no run, and the total remains at 60 for 1. We're in over number 6. So beautiful outfield, well groomed, and you can see Nepal, a bit of shouting, trying to encourage one another. As umpire Bayam just holding things a little, as a few persons walk casually in front of the side screen, and I think he's now satisfied. It's August. He's driving at that beaten outside the off stump, and rather casually, keeper looking to underarm that onto the stumps. I think there was a bit of a lapse in concentration there by August. Hodge, a few paces down, have a long distance conversation as he walks away trying to compose himself. And he's defending very nicely, good delivery, and there is no runs. So far, pretty tidy over, and not going for many.
Well, he's picked up the lone wicket thus far for Nepal, and he's been quite nippy. That's Sampel Kami, and seems to be generating a fair amount of pace, Charlo.
Certainly. A surface that seemed to give him a bit of help. Pretty long run, just turning on the 30-yard circle as well. August, again, good delivery. I think that taken on the glove and down to a short third man. He gets a single, and the total moves on to 61. So at the end of 6, it's 61. I think some 3 runs coming in that over, so a pretty decent over indeed.
Good tidy over coming there from Sohail. And just over 10 per over here for the Windward Islands. If they continue, of course, with this score rate, we can expect a score well in excess of 200. But as I said, it's a fairly small venue here at Park Hill. But it's a nice, lush outfield, good weather here this morning. Nice cooling breeze flowing across, coming in from the Atlantic. And it's indeed a nice little setting, of course, with the mountains in the background, and that's a beautiful view Hopefully we'll show that to you sometime during the course of the game as the play will continue. Appears to be a new bowler from the northern end. And we'll get that for you in just a while as this delivery is played in that fine leg position into the boundary. And that's 4 runs to the Volcanoes. They're now up to 65 for the loss of just 1 wicket, losing their captain very early. And these two certainly taking this Nepalese attack to task as we're into the 7th over, and it's 65 for the loss of 1 wicket. And this one pushes him back, but he works it nicely into that mid-on position. Fielder from long on comes in and picked it up in the process. 1 more being added. And it's good to see, you know, that there have been some lusty blows in between, but very importantly, the fact that the singles have been taken, Charlo.
Definitely, they are rotating the strike, and that's very, very important in a T20 game to keep the scoreboard ticking, looking for the loose ones that you can dispatch at any time.
So, Kavem Hodge, he's on 29. And a delivery that has him looking to work it off his pads. It took the pad and it's going to get very close to the fine leg boundary. There's Irie down there, picks it up. And first bounce there to the wicketkeeper in the process. 2 leg byes. And the total advances to 68 now for the loss of 1 wicket.
68 for 1. And we are in over number 7.
Hodge. Very experienced at the Windward Islands and regional level. And this one he pulls nicely into that whitish long on area. And that's 4 more.
Well, I think it was beautifully played, bisecting the long on and the mid wicket. And he was perfectly placed and he just watched it. Was struck with some power as well.
Lovely shot there from Kavem Hodge. And really showing the intent here this morning as they're motoring along the Windward Islands Volcanoes. Hodge, this time Mosi Dates, nice punching down to that long off position, and they'll sneak a second. And as if the player down there, it was definitely.
Yeah, I think Hodge had initially settled for 1. Oggy saw the opportunity, called him through, and in the end, he got it very comfortably.
Very much.
But one of the things I admire so far of Kavem Hodge, you can see he's using that experience, having played at the test level, and he has really grown in stature, I would say.
Hodge to this delivery is he was looking to probably hike that somewhere over mid-wicket. Took the bottom edge of the bat, and luckily for him, didn't really spoon. And in the process, just 1 run added.
Well, it went over the head of the keeper, Asif, and they got a single. So at the end of over number 7, it's 75, going at 10.5. So good start by the Windwards. Still early days yet. And we'd really want to capitalize. So there is a changing bowling here at the southern end. He's trying to pick up the names on the back of the shirts.
That's Kumar Jha, Gulshan.
Yes.
And some pace being reintroduced from the southern end.
Right, pace replacing the other. So Hodge looks around, just trying to ascertain where the fielders are. So there's a short third man, there is a backward point, there is a sweep on the boundary, extra cover, long off, long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backward square, and a short, fine leg.
This delivery is wide and played nicely there by Hodge. He was looking to probably get even onto that deep extra cover boundary, but it was a little square, more close to the point fielder, the backward point fielder. And 1 more added to the total, now up to 76 for the loss of 1. Gulshan moves back to his mark.
Interestingly, you note that Hodge made a few advances down the track. I think that indicates the confidence he has.
Without a doubt, Gulshan. races past the umpire. And this one is wide outside the off stump and played nicely there. Got on top of it. And I think he's played more of a holding role.
And allow Hodge to do the attacking. Total moves on to 77. 77 for 1. We're in over number 8.
And Gulshan, now they're at the top of his run, and will now turn. Races in to bowl to Kavem Hodge, and Hodge is down the wicket, driving, and well, I lost a bit of that, didn't realize it came off. Thought there was a bit of pad in, that's not the case.
Inside edge out to square leg. Total 78 for 1. Ogis comes back in strike. He's 26. Hodge on 38.
And that's going to be over the fence. 6 runs.
Well, it
well
was
struck.
in the slot, and he went over extra cover, clearing the boundary with ease. And the extra cover, orthodox extra cover, there was no danger in the shot. He deliberately played it, went all the way, got a maximum. The total rushes on to 84.
So the Windward Island volcanoes, as I said earlier on, they're really erupting here this morning. And of course, we're in the northern part of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is considered to be red zone area, Charlo. So anything explosive is expected this morning as Gulshan races in. And this one is outside the off stump and worked nicely into that deep backward square leg position. And one more added to the total. It's on to 85 for the loss of 1. And just before the team started this morning, there was a minute silence for the passing of a late Vincentian cricketer, Dyke Cato, who would have represented St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and certainly within these parts and the northern part of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, well-known, Charlo.
A very household name here at Park Hill.
Gulshan this time to bowl to Hodge. Hodge is beaten outside the off stump. He was prodding forward and had absolutely no knowledge there. Through to the wicketkeeper, and good comeback there from Gulshan.
Good ending to the over, having been struck for some 8 or so runs in that over. But really coming and finishing strong. So at the completion of 8 overs with the Windward Islands, 85 for 1.
So still maintaining that 10+ scoring rate here this morning at the Park Hill playing field. It's not the blistering sun that we are accustomed to. There's a bit of a cloud cover, but no concern with regards to rain, and a nice decent breeze. As you see the flags in the distance, they're fluttering, and must be pleasant for the Nepalese cricketers out there. First time here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and they are certainly going to be playing their group matches at the Arnersville playing field. So, new bowler to be introduced from the northern end. And that's Pratis. This time we'll be bowling to August. And just a change in the personnel as far as the fielding is concerned. Player going to that deep mid-wicket boundary, and what is considered to be a sort of short fine leg put in place. So here comes Pratish. And fielder comes off of that lead mid-wicket position. One more added to the total.
So the total on to now 86. 86 for 1. We are in over number 9. And Ogisi moves on to 34 with that single. And the aggressive Kavin Hodge is on 38. comes back into strike.
Hodge out of Dominica, and yes, would have had that Test series down under for the West Indies, where he,
Had a couple of half centuries.
yes, practice. And Hodge is driving. I don't think he was looking for that area, more on the offside. Got the inside edge and rolled out into that mid-on position. Nonetheless, 1 run completed. Total advance is on to 87.
So again, we see that rotation of the strike, the right hand, left hand combination. Umpires moving from left to right.
Practice to August, and this one works nicely into that mid-on position. The long on is off the fence, and good return coming in, but I believe, no, the finger is up. He's run out. Calvin Hodge goes.
From the moment I saw it, I thought it was rather suicidal. Was, I think, pushing it a little too far. And umpire Butler in the right position didn't hesitate, raised that dreaded finger. Hodge goes. I think he would be very disappointed in the way he got out.
Certainly. The ball was dropped into that mid-on position, but the fielder was quickly off the fence, wasted no time in getting that return back into the stumps.
And that was hit rather firmly
Yes.
as well. So it's really, I think it was definitely a suicidal single.
So the Volcanoes, they've lost their second wicket, 88 for the loss of 2. And I believe the new batsman coming to the crease should be Teddy Bishop.
Should be. Youngster, very slimly built.
Yes, out of Grenada. And would have had that one ODI for the West Indies. Unfortunately, didn't produce the runs that many, especially in Grenada, were looking for. But he has certainly a long road ahead of him, and can only get better going forward, Charlo.
Well, once he's decided to do the hard work, can only get better going forward. So he would have to buckle down and really work at his game.
So Nepal will be happy with that wicket, of course. They were certainly under the gun of Kavem Hodge, being supported by Augustine, and to see the back of him, hopefully it will bring some relief to this Nepalese attack. Practice it is. Runs past umpire Butler, and one that he just hikes. That's going to sail away, and that's 6 more added to the total.
Again,
Dismissive.
line on the body and nonchalantly played over deep backward square. And clearing the ropes for 6. And the total hustles on to 94.
94 for the loss of 2. So
they are maintaining that run, that scoring rate, that run rate above 10.
it's just so very much important. And this is a Windward Island Volcanoes team that there's no Sonny Lambers, there's no Andre Fletcher. Of course, Fletcher pretty much still part of the West Indies outfit as a fringe player. Obed McCoy, also part of the reserve unit for the West Indies, and one would not expect them to see them here today, but it's still a fairly strong side here this morning.
A pretty good lineup. I just had a word with Sonny Lambers a while. He's carrying an injury. But quite a lot of youngsters in the Windward, and have an opportunity now to showcase their skills.
Without a doubt. And we've been seen, of course, on the Asian continent. So all those people in Nepal, this is beautiful St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And during our break, we'll show you some images of this gem, as this delivery is, well, didn't get a touch. Was fanning at it outside the off stump. And umpire Butler at one moment appeared as if he was going to signal a wide, but didn't do so.
Well, second thought, and he's in the perfect position. So 41 to Ogis, and Bishop yet to get off the mark.
Here's practice. And this one, Ogis is beaten and he's stumped. Is he?
Yes, he is.
Yes. And the wicketkeeper was up.
And that's the thing about cricket, a good partnership, they fall off one wicket and then the other follow. And Windward's really from a position of 80 odd for 1, they are now 94 for 3. And He has to make his way back. It's like so it's like a Descartes coming into bat. He can strike the ball. I know that he is a powerful striker of the cricket ball as well. I've seen him in the VPL. Knows that he can really hit this ball a pretty long way. So at the end of over number 8, it's 94. 94 for 3. Eddie losing 2 quick wickets there.
Yes,
Windwards.
without a doubt. And these two certainly will want to consolidate and, very importantly, give the Volcanoes a good total of which they can defend. As a new bowler, that's Sagar Dakal, will come in. And just worked into the offside. Fielder from that short point position comes around and picks up. And very importantly, no run added.
Anxious moment. Bishop wants to get off the mark.
Here comes Dakar. And again into that cover region. Fielder comes off the cover boundary. And 1 more to the total as Auguste moves on to 43, is it?
His Bishop is off the mark. Auguste felt stump for 41.
Bishop, my apologies.
And it's now Descartes who comes in to strike. So there's a left-hand, right-hand combination.
And so important. We've seen that, thus far throughout this innings from the Windward Islands Volcanoes, as Descartes, stockily built, and settles over his bat as Dakar now comes in. And to this one, he's looking to hoik it. There's a loud appeal and a signal a wide. And I believe it was an attempt by the wicketkeeper to not have umpire call that wide.
Thought he heard a sound. Right. Umpire Afran Bayam is in the perfect position.
Here comes Dakar to bowl to Descartes, and one forces him back. Well defended. Sagar Dakal. Descartes again is forced back. And getting some respect here.
Yes, a good over thus far. The total remains at 96. 96 for 3. Some 2 runs so far in the over.
This delivery down the leg side, and that's the second wide. All of a sudden, there's a bit of buoyancy and urgency from this Nepalese team as Dakar outside the off stump, and Descartes fans at it through to the wicketkeeper. No touch whatsoever. Total remains on 97 for the loss of 3. Sagar Dakal. And Descartes is beaten outside the off stump. And really a wonderful over there from Sagar.
Very good over indeed. Some 3 runs coming in that over. And at the end of over number 10, 97, so 9.7 runs and over. 10 overs to go. I think that the Windwards would want to look somewhere between 175, 180, and possibly 200.
Well, as I said early on, this looks like a 200-plus ground. Based on the size, the outfield is quite lush, and the conditions are ripe for exciting cricket here at Park Hill, and we'll anticipate that the Windward Islands will try to get as close as possible to that 200-run total, Charlo. Meantime, of course, preparations continue here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the hosting of 5 World Cup games. You notice that the light towers are going up at Arnoldville.
Yes, and going up at a pace as well. So they have all the assurance that everything will be in place come the 13th of June.
August is bowled. And that, for me, was simply giving his wicket away. Head in the air, played all over it.
Swing at it. Lost his middle stump. And the Windwards really, from a very good position of 84 for 1, find themselves now 97 for 4.
And really a careless shot there from August. Was looking to hike in the air, played all over it, and lost his off stump in the process. 97 for the loss of 4 as the new batters out for the Windward Islands Volcanoes. So into over number 11 as Irie will continue the attack. So it's Douglas, the new batter, in for the Windward Islands Volcanoes. Irie goes to Douglas, and Douglas works that one into that gully area. Was racing off of that single that certainly was not there. Sent back by Descartes. And Windward Islands remain at 97 for the loss of 4. And these two will need to stick around for some time. This delivery forces Douglas back, but he punches nicely down to that long on position. He's off the mark and scores on to 98 now for the loss of 4. And we have certainly 1 or 2 spectators from surrounding areas, and as we continue to expect to see more. This one is as the batsman Descartes coming forward, just punching it into the offside. Irie fielding to his own bowling. Total remains at 98 for the loss of 4. Outside the off stump and forced into the offside. Cover fielder in Karan picked it up and got that return quickly back into Asif, the wicketkeeper. So it's 99, and this is the th over. And this one is forced wide. You're going to get very close to that square boundary, and 4 well taken runs there from Descartes. I haven't seen a boundary for the last 10 balls thereabouts. And they're bringing the 100 up for the Windward Islands Volcanoes. They're now 103 for the loss of 4. Lost their captain very early, and then there was that nice partnership from Auguste and Kavem Hodge, who unfortunately ran himself out. And since then we had a couple of quick wickets. And these two in Descartes and Dylan Douglas will certainly have to look to rebuild here for the Windward Island Volcanoes, as we see Rohit Kumar from the southern end to take up the attack. This time we'll be bowling to Dylan Douglas. Douglas plays a nice flowing drive. Fielder comes off at deep mid-wicket boundary, and 1 run in the process. 104 for the loss of 4. Descartes has already shown that he wants to get things going for the Windward Island Volcanoes. And dead ball signal there by the umpire. Certainly will have to re-bowl this one. Rohit. Descartes is working it nicely into the offside. Fielder from that point position comes in. And there's just 1 more added to the total. So following this game here today, there will be another on Thursday, then on Saturday, as Rohit this time wraps the batsman on his pads, but they're going to sneak a quick single there, and total now to 106 for the loss of 4 wickets. But just making the point that the team Nepal preparing for Cricket World Cup 2024, the T20 World Cup, and following today's game, there will be another on Thursday, and certainly on Saturday right here at this lovely Park Hill playing field. And Rohit this time will come into bowl to Dylan Douglas, and Douglas was looking to bang that one square of the wicket, played under rather than on top of it, and it's into the gloves of the wicketkeeper. Total remains at 106 for the loss of 4. This time gets the bat onto it, and field on that deep mid-wicket boundaries asked to come in. One more run added in the process, and the total is now at 108. 108 for the loss of 4. Descartes works it into that short mid-wicket position, and good work there from Rohit, fielding to his own bowling, and couldn't prevent the single nonetheless, but created a bit of an anxious moment there for the two in the middle for the Windward Islands Volcanoes. Total is on to 109 for the loss of 4 in wicket. We in over number 12, and worked into the offside, and striking the umpire there on that right heel of his. He's limping a bit in the process. One more added to the score for the Windward Island Volcanoes. The end of a fairly decent over there from Rohit, and it's 110 now for the loss of 4 wickets. 110 for the loss of 4, the Windward Island Volcanoes. So yet another change for this Nepal bowling attack from the northern end. We have Sagar Dakal. He had a couple overs from the southern end and been switched to the northern end. As Dylan Douglas will take strike. Just some changes taking place in the field. And Sagar Dakal will now come into bowl to Douglas. And Douglas plays this one. One bounce to the field in that deep backward square position, and single taken in the process. 111 for the loss of 4. Old Nelson on the scoreboard here for the Windward Islands Volcanoes. And this time, Descartes is going to face his Saga bowls and work nicely. And picking up a single in the process. Somebody's upstairs. It's not you. All right, okay. His deliveries worked into that gully position, and no run resulting. Douglas settling over his batters. Sagar Dakal comes in, and this one attempted to work it off his pads. I don't believe he got a touch onto it. Let's wait for the signal from umpire Butler. Yes, one leg by. And one more to the total. It's 113 for the loss of 4. Into the 13th over. And scoring rate is certainly slowed up for this Windward Islands outfit. Sagar Dakar comes in and bowls this time to Descartes. He punches down to deep, long on. And just one more to the total. Showing some aggression there all along the carpet here at the Park Hill playing field. But the fielder was always in place. And just one run resulting. No run available there, and threw was quickly in, missed the stumps. And that's the end of a very good over there from Sagar Dakar. The Windward Island Volcanoes, after 13 overs, they are 114 for the loss. 114 for the loss of 4 wickets. And the run rate is now at 8.76 per over. At one time they were at 11 runs per over, so the Nepal attack doing some repair work here at this point in time and pulling back the early advances made by this Windward Island Volcanoes team. Here is Douglas working this one off his pads and into that short square position, and one more added to the total. It's now 115 for the loss of 4. Bowler from the southern end is Irie, Dependra Singh Irie. This time we'll be bowling to Descartes as just a few adjustments being made to the field, and Irie now to Descartes, and he drives down to long on. One more added to the total. 116 now for the loss of 4. And would have gotten a little bit of a bat, I believe, onto this one. Let's see the signal. And none coming from the umpire, so one more added to the Volcanoes total. Irie comes in and bowls to Dylan Douglas, and Douglas was looking to hoit this somewhere over mid-wicket. Didn't really get much bat onto ball, but did enough to get that single, and it's now at 119 for the loss of 4. 119 for 4. And this is going to get very close to that mid-wicket position. Sampal comes around. And, well, unfortunate there, but in the end, no additional run. That one just stayed into the pitch area. Didn't get up there for Irie to collect. Quite unfortunate. But luckily there was that backup fielder to prevent any further addition to the total. It's 119 for the loss of 4. And this one is down to long on. And the Nepal fielding has been not the best. We've seen there was that one drop chance early off Kavem Hodge, and there's certainly been 1 or 2 misses in the field. As that was the end of over number 14. It's 120 for the loss of 4. And with some 6 overs remaining, some 36 balls to come, the Windward Island Volcanoes, especially these 2 at the crease, will be looking to up the tempo going forward. Maybe looking at a total of about 175, 180 at one point in time. 200 was pretty much on the cards. And still cannot be written off here at Park Hill. It's a fairly small ground by international standards. And still have one or two big hitters to come for the Volcanoes in the hutch. As we're now going to get some pace from the northern end. Karan looked fairly decent. He's certainly would have had his moments in his opening 2 overs. This time he'll come into bowl to Dylan Douglas, and a delivery that he pulls nicely. It's going to get fairly close, and good work down there by Jora, preventing any further addition. Just one more. So it's 121 now for the loss of 4. As Descartes just taking guard once again. Looks like a middle stump guard. And Karan. Prepares to come in a few steps and then breaks into his strides. Pass umpire Butler. And this one is Hoyt. Long, high, over mid-wicket. That's gone. That's going to look for some bananas that are close by. And a big lusty blow there from Descartes. Taking the total now up to 127 for the loss of 4. So that was a huge hit, and that was 6 on any ground. I can say that. Descartes putting a lot of muscle into that one. And there's now that search on for the ball. It's now being returned. And that came straight out of a banana field that is close by here at the Park Hill playing field. 127 for 4. So there's Karan. A delivery that is outside the off stump. It had some height in it. Batsman was looking there at the umpire for. Now we see the signal coming. So 1 shot for the over. And Karan, after being struck for 6, deciding that he's going to hit the deck and hit it very hard. As Descartes settles. He runs in now. And the delivery outside the off stump, pulled to the onside. Thinking about the second run. It certainly was not there. Wickets disturbed in the process, but bat was firmly planted. And total goes on now to 128 for the loss of 4. And it's the 15th over. So this time it's going to be Dylan Douglas facing up to Karan, and Douglas drives. Lovely. It's going to get close to that cover boundary position, and the fielder gets around just in time. And 2 runs added to the total. It's now 130 for the loss of 4. But a nice flowing off drive there from Dylan Douglas. And Windward Island Volcanoes. And this is the 15th over, 130. Karan. And Douglas plays this one, finds a short, fine leg position. and fielder well placed, preventing any addition to the total. That's the end of the over. So at the end of the 15th over, the Windward Island Volcanoes batting first here at the Park Hill playing field in this practice game for the Nepal team as they prepare for Cricket World Cup 2024. They are 130 for the loss of 4, 130 for the loss of 4 after 15. A scoring rate of 8.7 runs per over. So, Sampal Kami, this time from the southern end, to bowl to Descartes. Descartes hoiks this one. He's going to be out caught. Yes. So, there is Descartes hoiking that one. And a simple catch there to Karan. The Windward Island Volcanoes losing their 5th wicket. It's now 130 for the loss of 5. And certainly Descartes must be a bit disappointed in that shot. Maybe was looking for that gap between the deep cover and the long off position, but found the cover fielder coming in, and Windward Island Volcanoes in the process losing their 5th wicket. So being pushed back a bit, the Volcanoes, as a new batsman comes to the crease. Darren Ned, a new batter, takes his guard, and Sampal Kami picking up a wicket in this 16th over. Will now coming to bowl to Ned, and aborted his run as there were still some instructions being given, and will now bowl, and Ned etched this one straight into the glove of the wicketkeeper. Wicket number 6, well taken there by Mohammed Asif. And Darren Ned getting the golden duck here at Park Hill. And the Volcanoes are now 130 for 6. And let's hope that it doesn't all fall away for the Volcanoes. But he was forced back, and that bat was left hanging outside the off stump, took the outside edge, and wicketkeeper Muhammad Asif Sheikh made absolutely no mistake, ensuring that that one was neatly pouched in that glove of his. And 130 now for the loss of 6. So Kami now on a hat-trick. So, new batsman coming to the crease. There is Larry Edwards. And no helmet as Sami. That's Kami, sorry. Sampal. I believe I actually had the bowling correct. Is the captain Rohit comes in and bowls to Larry Edwards, and Edwards avoids the hat-trick. And very enthusiastic Rohit picked up in that area and tossed it back quickly there to wicketkeeper Mohammed Asif. So Rohit Kumar Podel, the Nepal captain, comes in and bowls to Larry Edwards, and Edwards is in defense this time. working it back up on the offside and picked up there by Rohit. Total remains at 130 for the loss of 6. Edwards can only find that fielder coming in, and the brakes are certainly on by Team Nepal. As Rohit now passes Empire, balls to Larry Edward, and Edward just can only find that short mid-wicket position. That's the end of a very good over from the captain. An over in which he picked up 2 wickets and keeping the Windward Islands in this after 16 overs, I beg your pardon, at 130 for the loss of 6. And Nepal certainly avoiding a late onslaught from the Windward Islands Volcanoes as we welcome back the sunshine here to the Park Hill playing field. Had a bit of a cloud cover for most of the morning, but it's almost blue skies here. There's just 1 or 2 clouds hanging here and there, as now we see both players going back to their helmet. Douglas, it is going to face this delivery and pulls at 6 runs. 6 runs there to Dylan Douglas. Total advance is now to 136 with a loss of 6. So Sampal Kami, the ball to Dylan Douglas, and Douglas is getting a one right up in the block hole and just drops it short, and they'll come back for the second very quickly. Throw comes in and it's the run out. Let's see the signal. And umpire Butter doesn't seem too interested. For a moment I thought he was gone, but a good throw coming in there from Karan, racing off the boundary and trying to first and foremost avoid the second and picking up the wicket. It didn't happen. 2 more added to the total, now 138 for the loss of 6. So Douglas is now up to 23 as bowler comes in now, and this delivery finds a player coming off of that deep square leg position, and it's 1 more to the total. 139 now for the loss of 6. Douglas is on to 24, and the new batter in Larry Edwards taking guard. As you might have picked it up in our microphone, some chattering and instructions going around from a Nepalese fielder. And now Captain Rohit asking that short fine leg to go right back on the fence. And player's going to come also onto the deep backward square leg boundary in Karan. So just some changes taking place as Sampal comes in out to bowl to Larry Edward, and Edwards is forced back, punches into the into the onside, and 1 more added in the process. It's 140 now for the loss of 6. And Kami forced to break his run there. He's going to go back to the top of his mark. And will now come into bowl to Douglas. Delivery that is high, straight back over the bowler's head. And that's 6 more. Almost striking all of the spectators under the coconut trees there at the northern end. Close to that scoreboard. It's 150. Make that 146, I should say, for the loss of a 6. But good shot there from Douglas. And he advances to 30. Sampal. Delivery and it's pulled. And it's going to get it way close to the fence. And just pulled back there by Karan. 2 runs added in the process. It's now on to 148 for the loss of 6. So, good comeback over there for the Windward Island Volcanoes. And with 3 more to go at 148 for 6, they might very well still be fancying a total of 175. To put some challenge here for this Nepal team, as Captain Rohit picked up 2 wickets in his previous over, and would certainly like for such to happen, or even better things. This over from the southern end here at the Park Hill playing field. So Larry Edward, he's on 8, and Rohit, this one is he bowled? It will appear that such is the case. Yes, had a swing at it and clipped that bail there, and Edward bowled behind his back, and Rohit, just like he started his previous over, getting the wicket on his very first ball. The Volcanoes are 148 for the loss of 7, as Asif Hooper will now come to the wicket. The bearded Asif Hooper, and pretty much a player who knows the conditions here at Park Hill. Asif Hooper is from the northern end of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, from the North Windward constituency, as we call it, and a player who can certainly muscle his way around. He's shown his exploits in the local VPL here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but also done it in 1 or 2 other Windward Islands, and was a T10 tournament in Tobago that Asif Hooper also excelled. So brings a lot to the table here, and would really like to ensure that the Volcanoes post as much as possible on the board. As Rohit comes in out to bowl to Asif Hooper. Hooper works this one off his legs, and the fielder couldn't prevent that single. It's on to 149 now for the loss of 7. Asif Hooper immediately off the mark. Douglas is still very much there. He's on 32. Kabem Hodge contributed 38. As this one, he hikes straight. And it's into another banana patch here at Park Hill. A big lustily blow there from Dylan Douglas. The 150 is up on the board for the Windward Islands. They're now 155. For the loss of 7 wickets. So, despite the fact that there's that continued loss of wickets, we see Douglas still trying to motor along, and apparently it appears as if that ball might not be retrieved. There's a fair amount of shrub at that end of the ground. It might be difficult to retrieve that ball at this point in time. Meantime, the reserve umpire brought out the box with balls. Still trying to retrieve. There's someone in the bushes ahead of us. Not yet on your screen, but efforts being made to retrieve that ball that has seen 17 plus overs. So it's 155 for the loss of 7. And following their stay here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Nepal, they'll go on to Texas, where they'll be playing a Houston 11 as they continue training, practicing for Cricket World Cup 2024 being hosted in the West Indies and the USA. Of course, St. Vincent and the Grenadines are preparing to host some 5 matches. And work is certainly moved along at the Arnesville playing field, where, as I speak to you, there is installation of light towers, extensive work done on the outfield, on the pitch itself. There have been some rehabilitation work to the pavilions, and certainly Arnesville, which is a lovely cricket ground. It's a gem globally. Certainly will be in all its glory as St. Vincent and the Grenadines hosts 5 T20 World Cup games for 2024. And doesn't appear as if that ball has been retrieved, so there's been a change in ball in the 17th over, as Douglas will now settle now as Rohit comes in. And outside the off stump, stayed along the turf for white signal there by the umpire, and they went through for a second. So 2 more added to the total. They should move on to 157 now for the loss of 7. 157 for 7. And Asif Hooper will now take strike. So the bearded Asif Hooper settles over his bat. And yet we see one of those, well, just a swapping of positions as Captain Rohit now comes in out to bowl to Asif Hooper. Hooper is forced back, but in the process is off for a very quick single. Just dropped it in front of him and immediately ran. And 1 more added. It's 158 for the loss of 7. 158 for 7. There's Rohit. Douglas gets one wide outside the off stump. No need to play. Signal a wide by the umpire. Rohit. And this one is high, hard, over the fence. And the 6 it is. Again, very close to that area, and for a moment, the fielder there on that long arm position appeared as if he would have caught something, but was just toying with the spectators here at Park Hill, because that was gone for another 6 off the bat of Dylan Douglas, and taking the total now up to 165 for the loss of 7. Douglas is on to 44, I believe. Yes, he's on to 44, and well, they're still trying to retrieve that ball. So that's 2 balls off the bat of Dylan Douglas yet to be returned, and should be seeing the reserve umpire coming in soon with a replacement. So we're yet to, well, the ball is actually now being returned. Now the question is, was that the first ball that was lost, or was it the replacement ball? I'm not in a position to say. The umpire will now have a look at it. And well, both balls are now back. So it's a question as to which ball will be used. And I believe they will resort to the original ball. That will appear to be the case. And Captain Rohit will continue the battle here for Nepal. 165 for 7 in this over number 18. As Dylan Douglas will prepare to take strike once again. Outside the off stump and another wide off the bowling of the Nepalese captain. Second wide of the over. Maybe being rattled a bit. Douglas hits this one high, hard, and the fielder's trying to get under it, can't, and that's 6 more. So Rohit coming in for a bit of a rough treatment here as signals with his bat. 50 on the board there for Dylan Douglas. And 172 now for the loss of 7. And with 2 overs after this one, there's still the possibility of a 200-plus score here by the Windward Islands Volcanoes, despite the fact that it appeared as if they would have lost their way in the middle. But with Dylan Douglas, who's in a no-nonsense mood, and Asif Hooper, who we know can power it, the possibility is still very much there. As now we see both batsmen getting their helmets. It's going to be Asif Hooper to face up Sompal, coming from the northern end in the 19th over. Sompal Kami it is. Asif Hooper taking guard. And with these 2 overs left, we certainly might very well see further explosions from this Windward Island Volcanoes team as Sompal Kami breaks into his stride now on the bathing sunshine here at the Park Hill playing field. Comes in on balls to Asif Hooper. This one off the bat into the pad. Very importantly, they offer that very quick single. And one more to the total. It's 173 for the loss of 7. 173 for 7. Cricket in action here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A rural ground, a ground that was put in place some 10+ years ago. It's really a beauty. It's nestled between the mountains in the back and the Atlantic Ocean. This one is a wild swing there from Douglas. And didn't get any bat onto the ball. Might have very well hurt himself in the process. Let's hope such is not the case. And I will go up and prods at the pitch as if to say, well, that was probably the pitch. But we in this commentary position know that's certainly not the case as Sompal races in. And this one is up in the air. Bowler's trying to get the catch. He's under it and takes it. Lovely work there from Sompal. And Dylan Douglas losing his wicket in the process. Trying to certainly get as much on the board here for the Windward Island Volcanoes. Gone for 50. And it's now 150 for the, make that 173 for the loss of 8. Very important wicket of Dylan Douglas going down there for the Windward Island Volcanoes. So there you see Douglas making his way back in. And Sherman Lewis, the young Grenadian batter, more known for his exploits as a bowler. Sherman Lewis will join Asif Hooper at the wicket. And Sampal is back at the top of his mark. He's ready to continue. Lewis just taking his guard in the process. So Douglas really looking to get the charge on, and didn't get onto that one in the way in which he would have hoped to, and skied it, and the bowler taking the catch in the process. 173 for the loss of 8 to Windward Island Volcanoes. So here's Sampal Kami now to come into bowl to Lewis, and Lewis is looking to work one off his pads. It's down the leg side, and that's signal a wide there by umpire Butler. So one extra to the total. 174 now for the loss of 8. So Sherman Lewis. This one is looking to punch somewhere down to that long on position, and ricocheted off his pads, found it into that fine leg position there, looking for a third, which is not there, and total will go on now to 176 for the loss of 8. And this is the 19th over. One more to come after this, and no doubt these two at the wicket will like to get as close as possible to that 200-run mark. 190 might still very well be a decent total here at the Park Hill playing field, as Sampal will come in now to bowl to Lewis, and Lewis is finding that one outside the off stump, got no bat onto ball, and that's a dot delivery, very important for the Nepal team. Total remains at 176 for the loss of 8. Sampal, as Lewis awaits this one and getting bat onto the ball. It's gonna go over the fence there for 6 more, and that's what the Windward Island Volcanoes need at this point in time. They're up to 182 now for the loss of 8, and that's the end of a spell there from Sampal, picking up a couple of wickets here today at the Islands, at the Park Hill playing field, and in the process, of course, getting what we call in local parlance some stick in the process. So 182 for 8 with one more to come. It'll be interesting to see who's going to bowl this last over. Captain Rohit came in for some rough treatment, and I'll decide I'm not going to bowl this final over. Looks as if it's going to be Irie to bowl the final over. The Pindra Singh Irie, as Asif Hooper has gotten rid of the helmet, and at 182 for 8, we really want to get as close as possible to 200. Hooper drives down to long on. They take 1, and that's all it's going to be. 183 for 8 with 5 more deliveries remaining. So here's Irie. This time to Sherman Lewis, and Lewis is looking to work this one somewhere into that mid-wicket position. He got an outside edge, and it rolled all along the turf into the fence. And that's 4 very important runs there for the Windward Islands Volcanoes. So 4 off the bat of Lewis, not where he would have intended to, but nonetheless, runs are runs. And the total advance is now to 187 for the loss of 8. Lewis Just having a look around and knocks his pads in the process as Irie will come into bowl. And this one again, well, there was no bat on the ball, and it finds its way into the fence. 4 byes. So all important for the Volcanoes. 191 now for the loss of 8. And I believe we have some 3 more deliveries to come. Lewis with the bats. Certainly has not been commanding, but he's done enough to add 8 runs in the last 2 deliveries for the Windward Islands. As Irie now comes in. And this one is safe into the gloves of wicketkeeper Asif. And total remains at 191 for 8. Lewis. To this delivery, drives. And it's going to get pretty close to the fences. 4 well taken runs. A wonderful off drive there from Sherman Lewis. 195 for the loss of 8. But it surely was a shot of a batsman of class. As he just leaned back and just drove that one into that cover boundary. And 195 as Irie with the final delivery. And batsman in the process taking the single. So 196 for 8. That's the end of the Windward Islands Volcanoes. Just 4 runs short of the 200 mark. And they would have certainly had that big partnership between August and Kavem Hodge. Would have lost their way somewhere in the middle. But with the likes of that wonderful innings, I should say, from Dylan Douglas, pulling things back and ensuring that the Windward Islands put a very decent total on the board. 196 for the loss of 8, as we see the 2 players making their way back, and the Nepal team certainly heading off to take a break here at the Park Hill playing field. And runs on the board are certainly runs on the board, but this Nepal team has demonstrated that they do possess a fair amount of firepower. One recall that 206 made by the West Indies A when they visited Nepal, and the Nepalese team would have gotten across the line with almost an over to spare. So the Windward Islands certainly will have to make sure that they stick to the proper bowling plan and try to restrict this Nepal team to under 196. We're going to take a break at this point in time, and when we come back, of course, bringing to you live coverage of the response from Team Nepal. Welcome back here to the Park Hill playing field as we are about to have the resumption of this T20 practice game where Nepal, they're taking on the Windward Island Volcanoes. The Volcanoes batting first to 196 for the loss of 8. A top score of 50 off the bat of Dylan Douglas. There was 38 from Kavim Hodge. And the Nepalese team will now have their response, trying to reach that target of 197 for victory. Just under 10 runs per over, 9.8 runs per over, the required run rate for Team Nepal. And we certainly look forward to how things are going to be exchanged in the middle. The two opening batters are there, Muhammad Asif and Kushal Bertel. So Bertel is going to take the first strike, and it's going to be Kavim Hodge opening the bowling for the Windward Island Volcanoes. So Hodge is going to take it from the southern end. Bertel settles over his bat. And here comes Hodge, bowls to Bertel. Bertel works this one to the onside. Field is off the long on fence, so immediately off the mark Nepal. Teddy Bishop picking up there in that long on position, tosses it back to the wicketkeeper, and it's one for the loss of no wicket. Nepal, as Muhammad Asif, the wicketkeeper for Nepal, the opening batter, and of course one of the members of the likes of many wicketkeepers would have done so, as this one worked through the onside yet again, and fielder comes off that boundary position, misfielded in the process and affording the opportunity for a second run. So 2 off the bat of Asif, and this the first over, 3 for the loss of 1. Nepal. Hodge to Asif, punches into the offside, and there was Hooper trying to get around, but cover was there in the process from the fielder coming in from that mid-off position, and first dot ball for the innings for the Windward Island Volcanoes. Score remains on 3 without loss. Hodge moves his past the umpire now, bowls to that's Asif, and could only find that short wick. That's fielder coming in from the square leg position into more or less a short mid-wicket position, and avoided any additional run. Total remains at 3 without loss. Asif, and good delivery there from Kavim Hodge. Had an important innings for the Windward Islands Volcanoes, 38 before he ran himself out, and we're now coming now to bowl yet again to Asif, and this one he was looking to bang that somewhere through the offside, missed it completely, missed by the wicketkeeper, and it's 4 byes being signaled, and that's the end of the first over. It's 7 without loss. Nepal chasing 197 for victory with some 19 overs to go, 190 runs required, and they're off to a fairly good start here, and you know, look forward to who's going to pick up the attack from the northern end. It looks as if it's so Lewis it is. Tall speedster out of Grenada, and had a very important innings for the Windward Island Volcanoes. He stuck around with Asif Hooper, especially in that last over where the Windward Islands were able to get up to 196. Sherman Lewis will come into bowl to Bertel. And races past umpire Butler, and Bertel Fans that one outside the off stump. And into the glove of the wicketkeeper there. So Lewis walks back to his mark as we lose a bit of the sunshine in the process. And will now turn at the top of his mark now to come into bowl to Bertel. And this one again rising outside the off stump. And Bertel allowing it to pass through. So a bit of aggression being shown here by Sherman Lewis. Tall, lanky player he is. And just having a chat with his captain, Demelius, as he returns to the top of his mark now. Racing out the ball to Bertel. He was in that upright stance, and delivery that is just came off that inside edge. And luckily for him, it didn't strike the stumps in the process. They got a single, and that's the 4th run being added to the Nepalese total. Eight for no loss as Lewis. This time to bowl to Muhammad Asif. And Asif is flicking that one. Right, as a matter of fact, breaking a window just below our commentary position. Nice, decent flick into the deep backward square leg fence. And total advances now to 14. So the dressing rooms are right below our commentary positions. And I heard the breaking of the glass as soon as that one came through. So nice shot there from Asif. Doing some damage both ways. Damage to the Windward Islands total, damage to Sherman Lewis, and damage to the facilities here at Park Hill. So there's to be some repair work. Let's see if Sherman Lewis can effect such a repair work for the Windward Islands Volcanoes as he races in now to bowl to Asif, and Asif is forced back, wrapped on that thigh pad, and a stifled appeal coming there from the wicketkeeper, but that was way too high. No alarm there for Asif. And the total remains on 14 for the loss of 1. We're into this the second over. Volcanoes posting 196. And this is the first of 3 practice games for Nepal as they prepare for the T20 World Cup to be hosted here in the Caribbean. And to those around the region who are following us, good day to you and to the persons back in Nepal as Sherman Lewis now comes in and bowls to Asif. Asif drives, lovely drive it is, all along the carpet into the long offense. 4 well taken runs and taking the total now up to 18 for the loss of no wicket. And a nice flowing drive off the bat there of Muhammad Asif. And bringing the end to the total. 11 runs off the second over. 18 for no loss. Nepal chasing a target of 197 for victory. So Hodge it is who's going to continue from the southern end. And this time we were bowling to Bertel. He's not out on 2. Hodge shot. And Bertel just works it into the onside. Fielders quickly off the fence there. And just a 1 run resulted in the process. 19 now for no loss. So a decent start here by Nepal in this the 3rd over. And this one he punches into the offside and finds the field in that point position. And no run resulting. That looks like Teddy Bishop who's in that area. And here's Hodge. Punches beautifully. It was a bit uppishly, but wide off of the short cover fielder there into the fence. 4 more runs, importantly, there for Nepal, and they're on now to 23 for no loss. So, good shot off the bat of Mohammad Asif, and he appears to be in a no-nonsense mood here as Nepal chases target of 197. Hodge to Asif, and cuts nicely. That's 4 more. Lovely shot. It is. And fairly short there from Kavim Hodge. And Mohammad Asif just rocked back and placed it nicely between that gully and point position into the fence for 4 well-taken runs. It's down to 27 now for no loss. So they are really motoring along. Asif to this delivery and works it nicely off the pads and bringing the whitish long off into play. Picked up and quick return comes in, and as a matter of fact, striking the batter Asif in the process. He appears to be okay. And 2 more added to the total. It's on now to 29 for the loss of no wicket. So 23 there now to Mohammad Asif. His opening partner, Bertelli's not out on 3. And Kavim Hodge having a fairly expensive one thus far. And drives beautifully. And this one might very well get into the fence. And a bit of misfielding there from Teddy Bishop. Didn't get down, much to the disappointment of Kavim Hodge. But it was a really nice on drive there off the bat of Mohammad Asif. He's on to 27. It's 20, make that 33 for no loss after 3 overs. So the Nepal team going at a scoring rate of 11 after the first 3, and matching that of the Windward Islands Volcanoes. That was the same position when the Windward Islands batted first. The only different statistic was that the Windward Islands at this stage they were 33 for the loss of 1. So we're seeing a change in bowling there from the Windward Island Volcanoes. So Lewis with just a 1 over for 11 runs and being replaced by Nicholas Redhead. It's time to come into bowl to Bertel. Over number 4. Bowls to Bertel. Bertel gets one rising outside the off stump and was looking to probably just play that uppercut, then get back onto ball, and it raced through there to the wicketkeeper. Total remains on 31. Not 33, as I previously said. 31 for the loss of no wicket, Nepal. Redhead. Quite a stocky bowler he is. And Sherman Lewis just assisting him there with the run-up as he goes back to the top of his mark. Breaks into his stride and will coming out to bowl to Bertel. And this delivery, yeah, good shot it is. Swings and swings nicely over that deep backward square boundary. And that's a good shot taken there. And Nepal certainly under charge. Racing on to 37 with that 6 for no loss. Bertel would have been fairly sedate since that shot. And Redhead make to go back to his mark and rethink. Turns now and breaks into that stride. Now to bowl to Bertel, and this delivery punches and punches nicely into that onside position there, and ball is quickly back. And 1 more added to the Nepalese total. It's now on to 38 for the loss of 1 as the sunshine is out in all of its glory here at Park Hill. Redhead. one of two Grenadian quicks in this Windward Islands Volcanoes lineup. This time to bowl to Asif, and Asif is, well, out caught. Beautiful catch it is. He was looking to work this somewhere in the offside, got a top edge, and flew into that short third man position, and catch taken there. Nepal losing the first wicket, and a very important wicket of Asif, going for, I believe, 30, and Nepal, they are 38 for the loss of 1, but a nice, decent catch taken there. And there's Asif making his way back to the dressing room as we have a look at the replay. Wonderfully taken catch. And Nepal now 38 for 1, and this is the fourth over, and they were really going at a very good rate. 11 runs per over thereabout. So the new batsman is Anil Kumar Shah. Anil Shah, big number 16 on the back of his shirt. And he'll join Bertel. So Bertel is not out on 10. I need to face his first delivery. Delivery that's came off the face of the bat down to that short third man position, and no run added. Total remains now at 40 for the loss of 1 wicket. Redhead. Let's have a brief bit of interaction there with Lewis. And will now turn. Comes in now to bowl to Anil Kumar. Kumar to this delivery is beaten outside the off stump. Knew absolutely nothing about that one. And good comeback here from Redhead. That's the end of over number 4. And at the end of it, total is 40 for the loss of 1 wicket. And there we see both batsmen having a mid-pitch conversation, mid-pitch conference. And certainly will be having a change from the southern end. It appears as if Lewis will switch from the northern to the southern end. Sherman Lewis. And we'll be bowling to Bertel, who just doing some repair work to his gloves. So Sherman Lewis had to abort that run as there was an exchange between Teddy Bishop and Asif Hooper. Bishop moving into Hooper moving into that short cover position, and Lewis now turns to bowl to Bertel, and didn't deliver. Dead ball signal by the umpire. .40 for the loss of 1 as the breeze picks up here at the Park Hill playing field, and Lewis first over from this end, comes in now, bowls to Bertel. Bertel tries into the onside. Long on, comes off the fence in Teddy Bishop. And return is into the gloves of the keeper there. He had to come forward to collect that one. But very importantly, no run added. Total remains on 40 for 1. Muhammad Asif, a batsman who's gone back to the locker room. Here is Sherman Lewis. Races in. And this time, Kumar looking to punch through the offside. Didn't get any batter on the ball. And that one went comfortably into the keeper's gloves. So we're into this, the fifth over, 41 on the board, 197 the target. Lewis looking to pick up that wicket for the Windward Islands. Bowls to Kumar. Kumar's nice shot. Well guided off the hip and into that fine leg fence. 4 runs and taking his tally to 5, and it's 45 now for the loss of 1. Bertel, who's on 11, leans on his bat at the non-striker's end as Lewis pumps and comes in out the ball and wraps him on the pad. Is a loud appeal, but that one looks as if it was somewhere down the leg side, and Kumar fights on quite naturally. Total remains at 45. So Kumar is on 4 and Kushal Bortel is on 11. And Sherman Lewis in this, the 5th over, his second. Well, coming to bowl to Anil Kumar. And takes a couple steps down and held back there by Lewis. Saw the bat advancing and decided just to pull back a bit. And in the end, he had no choice but just to punch it into the offside. And getting a single in the process. He's on to 5, total now up to 46 with a loss of 1. So 151 required as we enter the 5th over. 15 to go after this one. So the required run rate just over 10 runs required here up over from this Nepalese team. And Sherman Lewis comes in now. This time to Bertel. And Bertel drives, lovely. Fielder coming around and return coming in. The bowler was not there to pick up immediately, but in the end, just a single. And that's the end of over number 5, and the end of it is 47 for the loss of 1. And with another 15 to go, exactly 10 runs per over required, 150. The total required by this Nepal team to earn victory in this, the first practice game here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where they're taking on the Windward Islands Volcanoes. And it's a Volcanoes team certainly packed with a lot of talent. Sunil Lambris not with the outfit. Understand that he's injured. And nonetheless, they've posted a decent total here today. A total of 196, just 4 runs short for the 200. But the Park Hill playing field, not the largest of grounds, but quite a good facility. And Nepal certainly will be looking to get as close as possible. Quite naturally surpass the total. Here comes Redhead now to bowl to Bertel. Bertel gets one right up, and that was a possible chance there. Back to Redhead. I believe he would have dropped that one, but you'll have a thought there for the bowler, because he was just coming off of that stride of his, and that one came rather quickly off the bat of Bertel. He flung himself to his left, but couldn't hold on to it. And a chance there for Bertel. He's not out on 12. Total is on 47 for the loss of 1 as Redhead comes in once again. And this delivery is shots and good shots. That's 6 uppercuts over third man, and 6 runs there from Bertel. Dug in there from Redhead and got the bats under, up and over, so to speak. And 6 well taken runs, putting the 50 on the board here for Nepal. They're now 53 for the loss of 1, and 18 runs now to Bertel. Redhead races in, and this delivery driving high, hard, is gonna get pretty close to the fence. 1 bounce, 2 bounces, and I believe that's 4 runs. It is 4 runs. So shot over extra cover there for Bertel, and taking Redhead to the cleaners for those last 2 deliveries. It's now 57 for 1. And Bertel is on to 22. Redhead comes in. And this one, again, good shot. Under it, over the third man fence for 6 more. So it's becoming quite an expensive over here from Redhead. Captain Melius now going and having a quick chat with the Redhead, tapping him on the back. But the attack is definitely on here from this Nepal team. They're now 63 for 1. And this is the 6th over, maintaining that 10 runs per over. And Redhead, at this point in time, needs to have a settled head, as he will now, well, abort his run, as the batter was certainly not ready. There's some field changing that is taking place. Fielder going right back on that deep backward point boundary. There's a point, cover, mid-off, mid-on, as Redhead comes in down. Bows to Bertel, drives down to mid-on, and quickly taken single. It is. And one more to the total, 64 for the loss of 1 wicket. And since the departure of Asif, who was quite aggressive, Bertel certainly taking up the challenge here for Nepal. Redhead turns at the top of his mark and breaks into stride. Comes in. This time bowls to Kumar. He's bowled him. Slow delivery it is. He played all over it. And good comeback there from Redhead, deceiving the batsman in the process. And he was certainly bamboozled, as we said. Loss of wicket number 2, therefore. Nepal is 64 for 2. And quite a nice, decent delivery there from Nicholas Redhead. He got a few sticks early on in the over. Some big heaves from the bat of Bertel. And in the end, with a settled head, if you can say that, deceiving Kumar and bowling him in the process with a slow delivery. It's 64 for the loss of 2. Nepal chasing a target of 197. So, a new batsman coming to the crease. And I believe that's Captain Rohit Kumar, it is, yes. Captain coming to the crease there for Nepal. So it's going to be, looks like Larry Edwards who's going to pick up the attack from the southern end for the Wooden Islands Volcanoes. And this time we bowl into Bertel. As punching up the gloves to Bertel and the new batting is Captain Rohit. 100. +30 required here from this Nepal team. 133 required for victory. 64 for the loss of 2 wickets. And Larry Edward comes in now to bowl to Bertel. Bertel punches this into the offside. Fielder comes in from that extra cover position, picking it up. And one more to the total. So Captain Rohit Kumar is going to take his first strike. Edwards goes to ball him. Beauty. Rohit completely beaten, bamboozled. And Nepal has lost the 3rd wicket, a very important wicket in the captain. Rohit Kumar forced back, one that kept low, and lost his stumps in the process. It's a 65 for the loss of 3. And certainly the Windward Island Volcanoes, after some early blows off the bat of Bertel and Asif, pulling things back in this the 7th over. It's now 65 for the loss of 3 as we have a look at the replay a while ago. And new batsman coming in, looks like Sandeep Jura. So Jura to join Bertel. Kushal Bertel. And Larry Edwards, and this is first over. Striking for the Windward Islands, and much to the pleasure of his captain and his teammates. And we'll continue in this, the 7th over. To bowl to Jura. Sundeep Jura. Just having a look at the field, and now settles as Edwards moves between the umpire and the stumps. And this one wraps on the pad, is allowed appeal, and he's out. LBW. Larry Edwards picking up his 2nd wicket in 2 balls. And much to the amusement of the spectators present here at the Park Hill playing field, the Volcanoes with 2 quick wickets at 65 for 4, and Nepal certainly in a bit of a bother. They've lost the captain, Rohit, with 1 delivery, and there we see Jura, also 1 delivery, and 2 wickets and 2 balls. He's on a hat-trick, Larry Edwards, and we now see the new batter coming in, very tall player he is. And it looks as if it's Gulshan Kumar, the new batsman, to join Kushal Bertel. .65 for the loss of 4 Nepal. And this is the 7th over, being bowled here by Larry Edwards. Maybe just writing a new script as far as this game is concerned, Edwards. Because prior to this over, Nepal, they were really tearing into the attack of the Windward Islands. Redhead certainly came in for some stick, but he bowled a beautiful slow ball to pick up the wicket of Hasif. And Larry Edwards, of course, since then has picked up 2 additional scalps. He's now on a hat-trick as Gulshan, tall figure he is. And still some adjustments being made by Captain Milius. Now we see short mid-wicket being put in place. As a matter of fact, he's going to go into a mid-off position. Deep mid-wicket as Edwards comes in now and bowls to Gulshan. Gulshan is right in behind this one, avoiding the hat-trick. And importantly, no further loss for Nepal. Score is now 65 for the loss of 4 in the 7th over. Larry Edwards. Comes in now to bowl to Gulshan. Gulshan is back and across and plays it into the offside. Point comes into play and gets the ball quickly back into the keeper's gloves. Total remains at 65 for 4. Larry Edward into Gulshan, and Gulshan works it into the onside. So that's the end of a very good over, productive over there from Larry Edwards, picking up 2 wickets in the process. Very importantly, slowing the run flow, restricting the Nepal team. They're now 65 for the loss of 4, and certainly some repair work to be done by Gulshan and Bertel. I'm now being rejoined by Cecil Charles, and certainly the match well poised.
Very much so. 65 for 4 at the completion of 7 overs. I think Nepal would have some work to do, and certainly one would anticipate a partnership here between the 2 batters. And we see there's going to be a change in bowling at the northern end.
It is a change in bowling. Red had been replaced. He would have picked up the wickets of Asif in his previous over, and being replaced there at the northern end. Descarte. So Descarte, a new bowler, and had a fairly good innings, Descarte.
And the Windwards actually posting a pretty decent total.
Yes, 196. And Descarte, along with Captain Melius and wicketkeeper Douglas it is, marshalling their forces. So we await the start of this, the
8th over.
8th over, as Descarte, medium pacer, comes in now, bowls to Bertel, wraps him on the tie pad. He was looking to work it through the onside and gets to the pitch of it, so to speak, and rattled on that thigh pad. Total remains at 65 for the loss of 4. And of course, we had some aggression from Asif, and Bertel has certainly shown that he can do it when required. As Descartes now comes in now, bowls to Bertel. Bertel drives down to mid-off. Fielders quickly onto it. Bert's a single. And good cricket there by the Windward Islands.
Well, good cricket thus far, and Descartes seemed to hit the spot immediately, and not giving him that freedom to free his arms. And he would want to finish very strong. I think Windward would like to have a pretty decent over here to just put some pressure more on Nepal.
Well, let's see what happens with this delivery. Descartes ends, bowls. Bertel works it into the, well, he's looking to probably get that into the point region. And ball in the end just there to the wicketkeeper. Total remains on 65 for the loss of 4.
So 3 dots on a row. Very interesting indeed at this particular juncture of the game.
Yes. Ascarte. Right arm medium bowls and works into the onside. Mid wicket is off the boundary, and a good return coming in into the gloves of the keeper there.
That was Hodge very quickly off the fence, covering grounds like a hare, and rifled that back to the keeper and keeping it down to a single. So really not having reruns turning over as we saw in the Windward's innings. They were turning over the singles, turning over the strike. But Descartes so far in this over, 4 deliveries, just the 1 run off the over. He would want to finish very strong, 66 for 4.
So, Ascarte just asking the cover to come a little bit more square, if you can say that, and he'll now ask the mid-wicket to come wrong a bit. Comes in now to bowl to Gushal. Gushal just works it into that point position. Good work there from Captain Melius, and restricting the score. Still on 66 for the loss of 4. So it's really a nice, decent over thus far.
Yes, so 5 deliveries, 1 run, and certainly he would want to ensure that there's no boundaries hit at this particular stage.
Ascarte is having a bit of a conversation there with Melius with regards to the field adjustment, and in his opinion the long off should remain, but Captain Melius is asking him to come into that looks like a mid-off position, bringing him off the fence and now pushing back the long on. So here comes Descartes now to bowl to Gushal. And this one beats him outside the off stump. The end of a wonderful
Very
over there
good
from
over indeed.
Descartes.
Extremely good over. Just giving away a single. And you can see good carry to the keeper. Certainly the surface, getting good bounce, good carry. And the keeper appreciating that. But the Windward's really tightening the screws here on Nepal at the completion of 8 overs, 66 for 4. And really, I think we want to see something here from the Nepalese, and let's see who is going to pick it up from this the southern end. So right hand left hand combination. So left arm in bowls, but it goes back. So that bubbles back to the bowler. There's no run. So things are kept very tight indeed. Larry Edwards, Windward's bowls. Again, he goes back and he hits it in the air down to long on, who comes off the boundary, keeps it down to a single. And the total goes on to 67. So runs now down to a trickle. And bright sunshine here at the Park Hill playing field. Lovely conditions, nice cooling breeze blowing across the ground. One can see the flags fluttering in the breeze. And the left-handed batter Golbin comes in, he flashes at that, misses outside the off stump, taken cleanly by the keeper standing up, and there is no run. So Edwards keeping things rather tight. Yes, he's in with 4th delivery. He goes back, bangs it out to backward point, knocked down there by the man at backward point. They go through for a single. Total now on to 68. So 68 for 4. We are in over number 9. And really, the Windward's really tightening the screws here on Nepal. As Bertil comes back into strike. Edwards between the umpire and the stumps. He goes back. Edwards feels to his own bowling. And there is no run. So just 2 runs so far in this over. Anthony, with just a single delivery remaining.
Yes, and really and truly, the Windward Islands have pulled it back nicely, really putting a grip on the.
And that's a Yorker length. He digs it out. Well bowled.
Yes, putting a
And
halt on the
again,
Nepalese
that's
batting.
end of a very, very good over indeed. I think the last 2 overs, just 3 runs coming off the last 2 overs. Nepal find themselves under pressure.
Certainly a lot of pressure here this afternoon in the hot sun here at the Park Hill playing field. It's now 68 for the loss of 4. This partnership a very important one as they look to surpass that total of 197. They would have lost some 3 quick wickets, captain included, Captain Rohit, and Gulshan and Bertel, who's been there since the start. He's not out on 31, I believe. Will need to stay there, soak up a bit of this pressure, and try to get Nepal as close as possible, possibly over the line here this afternoon.
Definitely. So Descartes will continue from the northern end as the wind was looking to really make further inroads into Nepal's batting. And he's driving in the air, short of the man at mid-off. Return comes in, tame return really. And what first looks rather suicidal in the end got in very safely. Total goes on to 69 for 4. We are in over number 10. And Asif Hooper covering grounds, fielded nicely, but I think was a weak return to Descartes, allowing the batter to get in. So Descartes comes into Bertil, who is flashing that down to third man. Beats third man on the bounce for 4.
Well, when you go at it as hard as possible, and so did Bertel on that occasion. Took the outside edge and it flew past the keeper and past that third man position, 4 runs to Nepal.
Well, Descartes gave him the room to free his arms, and he really went at it hard on the bounce and went flying past third man and into the fence. And his good delivery, and he has to defend. Extra cover covering grounds, and feels well. There is no run. And Descartes, with a smile, seemed to be enjoying his work. Had a very good first over, conceding 1 run, and now trying to tighten some screws on Nepal's batting. 73 for 4. We are in over number 10. And he's swinging at that high in the air. Find like he's coming around. Will he catch it? No, he clears the fence for 6. Top edge and a small ground. Asif Hooper was looking to get underneath it, but it sailed over his head and into the rails at the Park Hill Pavilion for 6. And the total now on to 79, but he was looking to work it. He got a top edge and he got the maximum that he deserved.
Without a doubt, it was a well-taken shot there from Bertel. He's been the aggressor. He's on to 42.
So here's Descartes. He's down the track and he's lifting that high and hard. That would clear the fence. This is another 6. Huge hit.
So Bertel now deciding, and I'm going to take it to the bowlers, and he's throwing the kitchen sink more or less, but playing some good constructive shots in the process.
Very good shot. And he used his feet, got there, and he lifted it over the long off fielder, clearing him by a distance. And umpire Butler just examining the ball, now tosses it to Descartes, who has gone for some runs in this over. And here he is. Good delivery, guys. It out to backward point. Melius has a throw, misses, and had that struck, he would have been gone by the mile.
Without a doubt, he was way out. But Melius, unfortunately, wasn't able to get ball onto stumps, and 1 more run added in the process.
So a pretty fruitful over indeed there for Nepal. I think some 17 or so runs coming in that over. So 86 for 4 at the completion of 10. If my math serves me right, 8.6 runs and over.
Well, there's just about 111 to go, so they have to go at 11 plus.
Yeah, 111 for 10. And so Larry Edwards.
He's had a good spell, Edwards. Let's see if he can certainly sustain that. And now receiving the ball there from Sherman Lewis as the sun is once again out in all of its glory, Charlo.
Yes, a wonderful day here at the Park Hill playing field. And Edwards would go between the umpire and the stumps. And one must say a much appreciative crowd here at Park Hill as usual. Not a very large crowd, being a working day and a school day as well.
Yes.
But there are those diehards who are here. And Bartel drives square, beats Melios. Backward point has some run to do. Hodge knocks it down and keeps it down to 2. So good work by Hodge on the boundary and saving his team 2 runs. The total goes on to 88. And we are in over number 11.
Well, Charlo, we've been joined in the commentary position by a gentleman named Sean Rose. He's not contributing, he's only adding to our hunger.
Well,
the fact that he's eating some rice and peas and stew chicken.
Well, I really refuse to talk about it because I think he has done it for spite. Here he says working it down to deep mid-wicket, who comes off the boundary. Keeps it down to a single. The total goes on to 89. 89 for 4 in over number 11. So the turning over of the strike that we spoke about earlier. And the left-hander, Gulshan comes in to strike. And he swings off the top edge, diving effort there. I think he just dropping short, but I think he was a late move by the field at short third man. He was looking to swing that somewhere over mid-wicket, got a leading edge, and fell just short of a diving fielder there at short third man. And there is no run.
So Larry Edwards continued to put problems to these Nepalese batsmen.
This time he swings high in the air. Someone is getting underneath it. Melios is settling. He takes it. And again we see Gulbin looking to go deep mid-wicket. Got a leading edge. Melios at short extra cover, covering some grounds to mid-off. And took a comfortable catch. Nepal now 89 for 5.
89 for 5. And yes, it's just the fact that Larry Edwards continued to bowl that good maintaining line, so to speak, and placing a lot of pressure on the batter Gulshan. He had that attempt, the ball before, certainly, and this time he was looking to go straight. Got the height, but got the elevation, I should say, but not the distance. And it was an easy work there for Captain Melios.
So Windwards continue to apply some pressure. So 89 for 5 in over number 11, and really it's going to have a big axe here on the lower order to really mount that sort of fight back. For Nepal, we see Airy making his way out. He will join Bartel, who is on 52, I think.
He's on 52.
All right.
Highest score for the game thus far. We had a good innings off the bat of Dylan Douglas for the Windward Islands. He scored around 50. And Bartel now on 52 there for Nepal. Let's hope it's not in a losing cause. They're required just another 108 runs for victory. And we're into the 11th over. So Bartel, still a lot required from him. Opening batsman. He started quite sedately, so to speak. Left it up to his fellow opener in Muhammad Asif, who really plundered the bowling, especially off of Redhead. But since his departure, Bartel has certainly taken up the task, so to speak.
So Airy would now face Larry Edwards, who has been among the wicket. I think that's his third in, and he's working that out to mid-wicket, who comes off the boundary. He will keep it down to a single, and the total now goes on to 90. It's 90 for 5 over number 11 in progress. And we see Asif Hooper doing a bit of warming up. So perhaps we're going to see the left-arm orthodox coming in at that northern end at the completion of over number 11. So Bartel, just Melios doing some adjustments. Bartel just pulls away. Now he settles. A big gap, a real open stance. A good delivery, drops it and runs it out to backward point. He gets a single. And a poor piece of work by Captain Melios, giving away extra run. And the total now goes on to 92.
Should really have held on to that one, Melios, because Edwards was nowhere close to the stumps. He went for the stumps and missed it completely. And as you said, just giving up an easy additional run to the Nepalese team. 92 for the loss of 5.
So 92 for 5 at the completion of over number 11. So that would give us 8, just over 8 runs and over. And we see Asif Hooper, who is going to pick it up from the northern end.
Yes. And Hooper.
So it's going to be all spin attack.
Without a doubt here at Park Hill as Hooper. And that bearded look reminds me of the English spinner.
Yeah, I know, Moeen Ali.
Moeen Ali.
So he bowled round the wicket, and umpire Butler standing at the northern end. So Hooper, like Edwards, would go between umpire and the stumps.
So this time he'll come into bowl to Irie, and delivery as a shot works into that backward point position. And Melius, the captain, is there. Didn't pick up initially, but did enough to avoid the run. Total remains at 95, make that 92 for the loss of 5. Asif Hooper, who is really, on local terms, a T20 specialist. And this one driven into the point area again, and again Melius not holding on to it, and this time
giving away a single.
Yes. So one more to the total, one more to Irie. Bertel now comes in to take strike. Facing up now to Asif Hooper. This delivery is banged square of the wickets, and that's going to get into the fence. That's 4 more runs. Good shot there from Bertel.
I think he waited on it, played it late, and bisecting the third man and backward point, and it raced away and down to the fence for 4. Well played indeed there by Bertel.
Without a doubt, he's certainly leading the charge here for Nepal. And he goes on to 58. Hooper was asking for a bit of a field adjustment. And that is the case. You see a short third man, a backward point, a point in position. So they're packing that area. They see that there's an area of strength for Bertel as Hooper now comes in now. And Bertel now looking to work this one off the pad. I believe it would have struck him on that thigh pad. Let's wait for the signal. And yes, it is a leg by.
So, leg by. Total now on to 98. And they see umpire Butler indicating 2 legal deliveries remaining in the over.
Hooper this time to Irie, and outside the off stump, fans at it. Didn't get any bat onto the ball. Luckily for him, an edge would have meant him walking back to the pavilion. Such is not the case as Hooper comes in out. The ball to Irie. Irie, good shot, works it into the onside. The long on comes in the Captain Hodge, and one more to the Nepal total.
So 99 at the completion of over number 12. And I would say giving away a boundary, but still a very good over indeed.
It is a decent over there from Asif Hooper. Given the fact that the run rate required is still very much in the 11 runs per over here for Nepal.
I think that has increased. So 99, still needing some 97.
98. 98 off 8.
98 off 8.
Almost 11 runs per over required.
Yes, so still in that area.
Well, it's over 12 runs per over.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
12. So Larry Edwards will continue. I think this should be his final over.
Yes, this should be his final over. Ball played into the offside. And there, the fielder picking it up quickly. That's Hooper. Couldn't avoid a single.
The 100 comes up.
Yes.
In over number 13, 12.1 overs. 100 for 5.
So Larry Edward, he's had a decent game. Had a fairly good innings for the Windward Islands. Comes in now and bowls to Bertel. And fans that one outside the off stump. Missed it completely into the gloves of the wicketkeeper.
Good take by the keeper. A bounce in delivery, and he rode it well. And took it very cleanly. Very talented individual in Dylan Douglas.
Bertel to this one. looking to hoik it some over mid-wicket. Didn't get any bat onto the ball. It's something to his pad. It was a loud appeal, but the umpire not interested.
So Douglas, he also bowls some off spin. Very talented individual, doing some wicket keeping now.
His delivery is hit high and hard over cover and almost into our scoring position here. And six well-taken
really
runs.
Into our scoring position. And you can see a few persons had to take a bit of evasive action. And so 6 to Bertil. He goes on to 64, 106.
He's really showing his class here at Park Hill. Kushal Bertel. Edwards comes in. Outside the off stump, and this one found that it got an edge. Raced into the third man position. 4 more runs.
Well, the third man was a bit wide. He got a top edge, and that flew fine and down to the boundary. The white third man just stood and looked at it as it raced into the fence, and all he could do was to just retrieve it and return it to the keeper. So 104 now for should be a what? 104?
104 for 5.
For 5. So Bertil seems to be stepping on the gas at the moment.
Edwards may have different thoughts. To this delivery, Bertel is wrapped on the pad, looking to work it into the onside. He was stretching there. The end of the over, a mixed over there for Larry Edward, but very importantly, picking up 3 wickets for the Volcanoes and certainly keeping them in the hunt.
Definitely, and so his spell comes to an end. It's 110. Let's see, 110 for 5 at the completion of over number 13. So 7 overs to go, and the Windwards would want to ensure that this partnership is broken, because Bertil seemed to be stepping on the gas, really increasing the tempo, so to speak. And if once he remains, and so there's still 12.42 runs and over needed. And Asif Hooper will continue from the northern end. And it's going to be Airy, the right-handed batter, to take strike.
Asif Hooper tosses the ball from hand to hand. And now comes in, bowls to Airy. Airy was looking to punch that through the offside, but came off, I believe, the inside edge of the bat.
And bounced over the stumps, actually. And you can see keeper Douglas holding his head, well, perhaps saying, how did that miss?
Well, gods were with him as Hooper to Airy once again. This time he works it nicely off the pads into that short mid-wicket position. Hodges off the fence. And 1 run in the process.
112 for 5.
Quick conversation between bowler and keeper, Hooper and Douglas. Maybe something that Douglas would have seen. And just indicating such to Asif Hooper, who mops his brow. And Irie now gets back into his wicket, settles. And to this delivery, drives. Long off is off the boundary, and they're back for the second, but a good 2 there from the Nepal team.
Good positive running on the part of Nepal, and picking up 2 runs and pushing the total on to 114 for 5. That was not timed as well as he wanted.
And there we see Irie coming down the wicket, but pulling back on his length there was Asif Hooper. And stifling whatever effort I had intended. 1 run in the process.
115 the total now. And Bertil, who is on 69, comes into strike.
So they've been knocking around Asif Hooper, getting the single here and there, the occasional 2. And very importantly, keeping that scoreboard ticking. Hooper comes in out to bowl to Irie. Irie drives down to that cover region. Fielder picked it up and tosses it back. And in the end, it's just a
keeps it down to a single. So at the end of over number 14, it's 117. 117 for 5. A pretty tidy over on the part of Asif Hooper. But we see Bertil now content to just work it around, perhaps looking for a late surge. And with that, they're scoring with 6 overs remaining, 36 deliveries to get some 80 runs.
80 runs, yes.
And we're needing some 13.33 runs and over. And I saw the Windwards would fancy themselves at this particular time.
Without a doubt, but with Bertel there, he has shown that certainly he has what it takes to hit this ball and hit it very far indeed. And they will be quite naturally cognizant of that and will want to see the back of Bertel. So, looks like Kavem Hodge is going to pick up the attack from the southern end.
So the Windwards will continue with spin, and Hodge, also a left-arm orthodox spinner. So we have Larry Edwards, Asif Hooper, and now Kavem Hodge.
So I read a batter, as there have been a couple of fielding changes from Captain Melius. Kavem Hodge, Dominican by birth, and we're now prepared to come into bowl to Irie. The delivery that is short and is banged. I think he was looking to go more mid-wicket there than anything else.
He was more tugged that down to long on, and he got a single. The total goes on to 118.
Hodge now to Bertel. Bertel.
He's bowled him.
Well, he has knocked it down the stumps.
He's bowled him. Chopped it into his off stump. And you can see the dejection on the part of Bertil. He was not short enough for that shot. He went back and it was too close. Got the bottom edge into the stumps. And he has to make his way back to the pavilion and celebration in the Windward's camp.
Well, that's the wicket they wanted, because certainly Bertel was really and truly having a fantastic innings here at Park Hill. He looks dejected as he makes his way back, a shake of the head, but has to go back to the pavilion. And striking there for the Windward Island Volcanoes, Kavem Hodge is number 118 for the loss of 6.
And that's his second delivery. So early inroads by Kavem Hodge. He's a seasoned campaigner, one who came through the ranks of the under-19. Can recall up to 2009, 2010, he was in the under-19 squad. He has really grown in stature, played for the Windwards, also the West Indies. And here he is with Windwards Volcanoes in this practice game against Nepal, picking up an early scalp in his very first over of the second delivery, and Nepal finds themselves at 118 for 6.
So Sampal Kami, the new batsman from Nepal. Kavem Hodge had, I believe, 2 earlier overs. So he's now into his second spell.
He's into his second spell. Unfortunately, I would have missed that. As the new batter now takes his guard.
So Samal Kampi just having a look around, and Hodge it is. Bowls. Works it nicely to that short third man position, and the 1 run will result. Sampal Kami. So we have 2 new batters at the crease. One, Irie plays it down to long off, and fielder picks up 1 more run resulting.
It's now 120 for 6 in over number 15. And they really have some beautiful sunshine here at Park Hill.
Beautiful sunshine. Ball outside the off stump, knocked into the offside. And the field in that cover position comes around, picking it up. And 1 more added. It's 121 for 6. Of course, Thursday and Saturday, there are 2 other games here at Park Hill. Hodge batters down the pitch in Irie. And this one, for a moment, I thought it would have been an opportunity, but it dropped way short of the fielder coming in from that long on position. And just another single added.
Well, I think it was good bowling on the part of Hodge. Saw him advancing. He pulled it down short. He was deceived on the bounce. And he was only to lob short of long on. And he got a single in the end, 122 for 6. A pretty tidy over and a successful over indeed by Kevin Hodge for the Windwards.
So with another 4 overs remaining, still 75 runs required. The task is getting bigger and bigger for Nepal.
Well, definitely, it is becoming like a mountain, climbing Mount Everest. And so it's going to be Asif Hooper who will continue. I think this will be his 3rd over. And he will bowl over number 17.
That's correct. Over number 16, I believe. Yes, over number 16. So Asif Hooper. It's time to bowl to Irie. At 45 on the back of his. Hooper to Irie. Irie drives down to long off. And fielders down there picking it up now, restricting the batters just to a single. Quick return coming in there to Hooper.
So discard on the long off boundary, covering grounds very quickly. And Hooper was full, not allowing the batter to get underneath it to go over the top.
Here he is down to Sompal. Sompal drives uppishly. Once again, this Carter comes into play. And again, another single added to the Nepal total.
So 124. 124 for 6. And we are in over number 16.
Asif Hooper. Outside the off stump, and this time it's into the cover, deep cover position. And again, yet another single. The singles are not going to do it for Nepal.
It's certainly not, but you can see what Asif Hooper is doing. Looking to bowl full, not allowing the batter to get underneath the delivery.
This one, Sampal goes square the wicket. Lovely shot. That's 4. Well struck there from Sampal. Ball just outside the off stump, and he got battened to the ball.
A full toss, and he made full use of it.
Full use of it.
It had the width, and he just square drove it.
So Asif Hooper comes in once again to bowl to Sampal. A delivery that he was looking to, well, getting it pretty close to the fence, and they'll pick up 2 here. I don't think that was his initial intention, and there we see a bit of a scrappy work from the Volcanoes, but in the end, still restricting the Nepal team to 2. And total moves on now to 130.
130.
For the loss of 6. Hooper to Sampal. Nice deft shot, straight to shot, 3rd man. And the throw was quickly in, but so too was Irie, who was very quick between the wickets there, Irie.
Bit offline as well, so keeper Douglas had to cover a bit of grounds, and certainly Irie was not under any threat whatsoever, making his ground.
So there we see the end of over number 16 from Asif Hooper. I believe either 7 or 8 runs off of that over, not the required 13 plus
Certainly,
for over.
And the run rate continues to mount. So for Nepal, Hodge will continue. This should be his last over.
Should be his final over, Kavem Hodge. This time he'll be bowling to Sampal. As Hooper goes right back on that cover boundary. Comes in now. Shot. And hits square of the wicket. Hooper comes around but can get there in time. Good shot off the bat there of Sampal.
Certainly gave him the width, and he really square cut that with some power. As if Hooper on the backward point boundary had no chance as it went across the ropes in a very quick time, and the total goes on to 135.
Let's see what Sampal does with this one. And he's wrapped in the pad. It's too far down the wicket. There was an appeal, but certainly that was not going to be called out. And there we see a couple of mistakes in the field.
Again, and Captain Melius as guilty as ever. Had a quick throw, Hodge not collecting, and the total goes on to 137 for 6. So both batters are now on 14.
This one down to 3rd man, picked up there, and 1 more added.
So 138 for 6. And Sampal goes on to 15.
Hodge. This time to Irie. And Irie hits this one high, hard. This is going to go into the banana field somewhere over there. That's 6 well-taken runs off the bat of
Well,
Irie.
that's a good hit. It was in the slot. He got underneath it and he swung it over wide long on. And it went sailing for maximum. And the total now goes on to 140.
148 it would appear.
Just wait on the 144. So I think the ball has been returned. I am sure that umpire Afran Bayam will want to have a look at it just to ensure that all is well. Fortunately not. Hodge dries it on his rag. And there was Eric clearing the fence. He's on 20. With him is Sample, who is on 15.
Hodge to Irie. And good shot. Down to that long off position. Fielders there picking it up. And they were looking for the second. But he was very aggressive there, Sherman Lewis.
Good piece of work by Lewis.
Yes.
He knocked it down. That had some power on it. He was traveling. He knocked it down and he recovered very quickly. And the return came in very, very sharp. They were looking for two and then had to scamper back to their respective creases.
Delivery outside the off stump and it's punched into the cover region. Fielded down there in Asif Hooper. And in that deep cover position, tosses it back to wicketkeeper Douglas. And I believe that's the end of Kevin Hodges' spell.
And at the end of over number 17, it's 145. 145 for 6. So 18 deliveries remaining. And they're still in need. 146 still in need of 51 runs.
51 runs. Possible, it is possible. But the Nepalese batsmen, they'll really need to tear into this Windward Island Volcanoes attack. An attack that certainly has shown that they're prepared to certainly bring the game to Team Nepal. It looks as if it's Asif Hooper who's going to continue from the northern end. Himself coming from the northern area, St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
He's actually from this area.
Yes. So, Hooper. This time is going to go into bowl to Sampal.
Sample, who's on 16. Area at the non-strikers then on 21.
Well, there you saw an opportunity going a begging.
Certainly at this level, that should have been an easy to catch.
Without a doubt.
But certainly really made a meat of it. And in the end, the batters got 2 runs. So 148 for 6.
Hooper to Sampal. Sampal is beaten outside the off stump. And Dylan Douglas was, had he moved, Douglas was there just waiting to whip the bails off.
Definitely. Good take by Douglas.
Hooper. Sampal this time, short third man comes into play. And this might very well.
I think he made his ground. I think Harry is very quick over ground.
He is very quick.
And he got in, but one can see that Sample favors that shot.
Yes.
And I think what the batters need to do is to bring it a bit closer to him, because to do that, he has that, you may get that opportunity to where he chopped it onto his stumps.
So the diminutive Irie settles as Hooper comes in now. And a delivery which he hits high and hard.
That's gone.
That's
I
gone.
think that would have to find a replacement.
That's into the lands behind the Sparkle playing field.
Into the hills.
Huge hit there from Irie. And
in the slot.
they're showing intent here, Nepal. Can't write them off at this point in time. Irie and Sampal, they're going at it.
And certainly, as we can see the third umpire going out with a box of replacements. And that was a good hit. He lofted that over long on and it went sailing into the bushes at the top of the hill. And certainly they would have to be rather careful, because these two can really create a bit of a problem.
Well, our cameras are not picking it up, but in the distance, you're seeing some locals trying to make their way through the banana field.
To get to the back of the hill.
Which is a fair distance indeed. That was a really long hit. Probably close to 100 feet. Strike off the bat there by Irie. Solid hit.
Very good sound off the bat as well.
So
So it's now 155. So 42
required.
required. And we are in over number 18. So it's not over until it's over.
So Asif Hooper it is to continue. And Irie
27 to him. And I think Asif Hooper is being watched by his mother as well, who is in the pavilion.
Wonderful. Put down by Hooper. And well, maybe because he said that his mother was here.
Well, I think he flighted that delivery. You can see Airy looking to go hard. It didn't time it, and Hooper, I think he deceived. He was anticipating he was coming back a little quicker to him. Didn't come back with the pace that he anticipated, and he bobbled it.
Quite unfortunate. He comes in once again now. This time to Sompal, and Sompal looking to heave this one. Ball down the leg side and getting close to that fine leg boundary. Might very well have taken the pad in the process. Let's see.
Seems
There's
to
no
be an
indication.
inside edge.
Well,
no signal, so it has to be an inside edge.
2 more runs added nonetheless, and it's 158, is it? For the loss of 6.
And the 18th over has come to an end. Let's see. Seems to be 160. Let's see. Just wait for the scorers to finish tidying up the score on the scoreboard.
It's 159 for the loss of
159
6.
for 6 at the completion of 18. So 2 overs, 12 deliveries. And there's still
38
need for
required.
38.
38 runs required. 19 runs per over.
And Sherman Lewis comes back into the attack.
Lewis, who certainly comes with a lot of pace, but was also taken to the cleaners by Bertel. He's back in the pavilion, but Irie has shown that certainly he has the ability.
Well, we can see the locals returning, so perhaps they have found that ball that was hit way into the distance. And
without a doubt, there's
and
that.
there it is.
So there's a bit of a surprise for those 2 youngsters.
So Lewis.
Sherman Lewis to continue. It's time to bowl to Irie. Irie hoiks this one high and hard over the bowler's head. That's 6 well taken runs.
Low full toss. And he just
Walked into it, yeah. So 19 required per over. There's 6 off the first ball.
So pressure on the bowler.
Without a doubt. And Hooper in the process was having a quick word there with Sherman Lewis. Simply might be saying to him, well, please keep a calm head. And you can't bowl those low full tosses. You're going to certainly feel the pain off the bat of Irie.
165 for 6. 11 deliveries remaining, 32 required.
Goes to Irie. Irie hoiks this one for another 6.
Again, he got the width and he threw everything at it and it went sailing over backward point for 6. And really pressure here on Lewis. And we can see Captain Melius now running down to have a word with him as the total hustles on to 171.
Well, it's 12 from 2 deliveries. Still has 4 more to go in this over, plus another 6, so 10 deliveries remaining. And some 26 runs required.
6 runs required.
So the equation is getting more and more in the favor of Nepal. Irie, as we will say in Jamaican and local parlance, he's really doing an Irie job for Nepal. As you say, saw there a while ago, Lewis breaking his run.
He was looking, I think, for the Yorker, but he not getting it right. And the diminutive Irie really threw the bat at it.
So here comes Sherman Lewis to Irie. And this one, he swings at it. It comes off the upper arm. There was Sampal looking for the single. Didn't happen. And a dot ball resulting.
Exactly. And so he realized that the first 2 deliveries, they were full. He was dispatched over the fence for 6. And this time he went short and got a dot ball in the process. But Airy was looking for that hook shot, but I think it was onto him much quicker than he anticipated.
So Lewis trotters back to his mark as the Nepal physio makes his way off. Came in to have a quick look at Irie, but all is okay. And Sherman Lewis, as Asif Hooper just have a quick word at him, and he now breaks into his stride now to bowl to Irie. Irie fans at one outside the off stump and into the gloves of Douglas. So is that the 5th ball, is it?
Fourth delivery.
So 2 more to go in this over. 171 for the loss of 6. And
so the 2 short deliveries have
really
worked for Lewis. I think if he's going to go short, he needs to keep it close to the body of Airy. And it's not giving him that width to throw the bat. He can fly off the outside edge and land somewhere.
This delivery is so wide. And he put a lot of effort into that one. Maybe
a grunt from the bowler.
He overextended himself there. And it's 172 now for the loss of 6. 25 required from 8.
25 from 8.
Sherman Lewis, certainly a hard worker. And now turn at the top of his mark. He's, since those first deliveries, 2 deliveries, he's pulled it back somewhat. Comes in now and bowls to Irie. Irie fans at one outside the off stump, and it's another wide being signaled. So
2 wides, and that could be very hurtful to the bowling team.
So it's down now to 3 runs per ball. 24 required from 8 deliveries. Exactly 3 runs per ball required from Nepal to win this one. And Irie, he's on 40 not outs. 21 to Sampal. As Sherman Lewis now moves past the umpire. And Irie hits this one. It's gonna go high and over the fence. That's 6 runs. So
that's the 18 that we're looking for. So that's 3 sixes. That's 20 runs in the over thus far.
Right, with 1 delivery still remaining.
And still 1 delivery, 179.
So Sherman Lewis
has been really taken to the cleaners here by Nepal.
And looks a little bit dejected, but he'll have to certainly summon some courage and bowl this his final delivery of the game. Let's hope it's not a wide or no ball. And you can see that he's trying to settle himself, Lewis. And Irie now takes up his batting position as Lewis bowls. And this one is high, over, long off. That's a wonderful shot. That's 6 more.
And that's his 50.
That's his 50. Marvelous innings there from Irie.
He goes on to 52, and really a pour over on the part of Lewis. Some 26 runs coming in that over. 4 sixes, 2 wides, and really the Windwards now would have to pull things back. 12 runs needed off the final over, and really I think that is putting some pressure on the part of the bowler who's going to bowl that final over. But really a pour over on the part of Sherman Lewis.
Without a doubt. And Redhead is going to be the bowler to bowl this final over. He himself, of course, would have had some stick early on. The Nepal team seems to like the ball coming off the bat.
Yeah, we have seen that. The spinners pull things back, but when you have the faster stuff, They are able to throw the bat at it, they are able to get underneath it, and they are scoring pretty freely. And I think it's something that Captain Millias and the management would have to look at going forward into the next 2 games.
So Sampal it is, the batsman to face Redhead. There we see Asif Hooper just having a quick word. He's always in the game, Asif Hooper. Some encouraging words to the big fast bowler, Redhead out of Grenada. And Sampal was having a quick look at the field. And Redhead just waiting for Hooper to settle in that extra cover position, it looks like, as Redhead now will come past umpire Butler. Sampal to this delivery is hiking this one high, and that's gone.
No.
Is it? It is.
Yes, it is.
Over the cover position for 6.
So 5 deliveries remaining, 6 runs needed, and really the pressure is on the Windwards.
Definitely on the Windward Islands. And these 2 batters have demonstrated that certainly they have the talent to take Nepal over the line. And we can see on our live
191.
191 for 6, but on the live there's a lot of viewers from Nepal. I don't know any Nepalese, I don't know what languages speak, but if you don't understand what we're saying, well, we wish you all the best. And here comes Redhead nonetheless. Comes in out of bowl to Sampal. And this one, he just taps it over the head of the point player, fielder, sorry. And he'll come back for the second. And that was all intentional.
Well, he was deceived with the pace. I think it was a slower delivery, but he got his bat and he got it over the backward point in Melios. And they got 2 runs. So 193, 4 runs needed, 4 deliveries.
4 deliveries to go. Sampal the batter. Redhead turns now as he receives the ball from Asif Hooper. 1 shot can make it happen here for Nepal.
And there's a very good partnership between these 2 here for Nepal.
Goes to Sampal. Sampal pulls.
And that's it.
That's a victory there for Nepal. Winning this by 4 wickets. And certainly a wonderful partnership from Irie and Sampal bringing home this game here today.
Bringing home the game, because at one time it looks as if they were dead and buried. But the faster stuff came back and they capitalized. Really, one would have to give Bertil the props, because he started it, he laid the foundation, and these 2 came and really finished it for Nepal. A good victory for them, 197 for 6 of 19.4 overs. And really, from our viewing point, they seem to like the ball coming onto the bat. It's something that the Windwards would have to look at going forward.
Well, Sherman Lewis, certainly, with that dreadful 19th over where, some 26 runs?
26 runs coming in that over.
Yes, and certainly he was maybe the architect at the back end for the defeat here for the Windward Islands.
Definitely, because coming off at that 26 runs in that over, 12 runs needed off the final over. I think the favor, everything was in favor of Nepal, and they came out rather easily.
So we're going to try and at least have an interview. Of course, with the Nepalese and their victory. As you notice, both teams are in the middle and exchanging pleasantries. And we're going to try at least to have an interview with the Nepalese as they certainly continue their journey as far as Cricket World Cup 2024 is concerned, to be held here in the Caribbean. And Rohit.
forward to improve.
All right, first time to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Your impression?
Yeah, I think very very good place, especially good nature, and yeah, we're enjoying it. We are enjoying it. It looks like same like Nepal, very greenery here. So yeah, enjoying it.
Very well. Well, you have Netherlands, South Africa, and Bangladesh to take on right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. What do you expect? What in store you think?
Now I think tomorrow we'll go and watch the venue where we are going to play against South Africa and Bangladesh. We'll look there, and yeah, the main reason to come here was to look the wicket, look the condition, where we need to play the two important games. So now tomorrow we'll go and look at the condition, and yeah, we'll plan accordingly.
Thanks a lot and all the best.
Thank you so much.
There you have it. Rohit, the captain of Nepal, of course, very much expressing the fact that he enjoying the conditions here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They certainly are going to be taking on Bangladesh. They'll be taking on South Africa and the Netherlands. Three warm-up games, three group games, I should say, here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, to be followed by 2 Super 8 games. The construction is very much on at the Annesville playing field, of course, where a significant amount of repair work is being done. There's the installation of lights and, of course, an electronic scoreboard. St. Vincent and the Grenadines saying to the rest of the world that we're definitely ready to take on T20 Cricket World Cup 2024 and going forward. Well, I see the Minister of Sports coming my way. The Honorable Frederick Stevenson, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Hey, Danny. Cool, man. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. An exciting cricket game here at Park Hill today. The Windward Volcanoes and Nepal as here from the fifth over. And I think it has been a wonderful full game today.
Well, the work is ongoing with regards to the preparation of Annesville. Bring us up to date as to how things are progressing.
Well, as far as I know, I believe the fourth light tower is in by now, and the other works are ongoing. I know that the area for the mound and the swimming pool area, that is progressing very smoothly. I just yesterday got a photograph of the because I didn't get to go there yesterday because of an activity here at Park Hill yesterday, but I got some photographs from one of the workers there. The area where the bar is basically completed, just the paint and that sort of stuff. There should be a light tower in that particular area too, so we're just waiting within the next day or two. That one should go up as well. So it would leave one light tower remaining to go up. But the other works are progressing very smoothly at Annesville, the grounds. I know that the authorities from ICC would be coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the basically the final rolling of the ground to ensure that it's rolled to the standards. Some of the equipment are coming in the replay screen and is here. Work on the area, the platform for the replay screen is ongoing, and maybe by the weekend or early next week we should see the replay screen in there at Annesville, and then we look forward to the cricket.
All right. Well, we've had a 12-year drought, literally, since we've had international cricket here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The T20 World Cup 2024 is coming. Bangladesh is coming later on, down in the end in December. This ought to be exciting times for the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
I tell you, and not only that, there'll be the West Indies on the 19 team would be here in July. So just after the World Cup. We have in the West Indies on the 19 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And then we have our own local VPL. And then in October, we have the Independence Masters. And I believe that we should be having about 13, 14 teams coming this year for the Independence Masters. So cricket from the month of June to December. Annesville would be filled with activity, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines would see some exciting cricket. I'm excited, and I know all of St. Vincent and the Grenadines excited to see cricket back at Annesville playing field, and I look forward to all the games. I'm going to be a part of all those games.
Thank you very much, Minister, and all the best.
You're welcome, Denny, and see you here on Thursday again.
Definitely, we'll
Thursday
be here.
And on Saturday, all being well. I believe there's this beautiful ground at Park Hill here. I saw the guys here working yesterday, and early in the morning I was told that they were still here. They did a wonderful job in preparing this ground for this match today. And speaking when I came this morning with the manager of Bangladesh, he said he's excited.
Nepal.
Nepal, sorry,
Right.
he's excited. On a sad note, though, the cricket fraternity and sports here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have lost
Like Keto.
Daiketo, a wonderful and enterprising young man in sports. I saw him a few days at the hospital, and his thing is that he would have been here today. He wanted to come out to see cricket, but such is life. He didn't make it. He left us this morning, and on behalf of the Minister of Sports here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the government, I extend sincerest condolences to his family, his children, his many supporters. Dyke was the kind of go-to man of the Ministry of Sports. If you want a field marked,
Call Dyke.
you call Dyke. And nothing, Dyke, the schools in Bible are going to have this athletics championship tomorrow. Okay, Minister, that's all right. I go mark the field later. I'll go mark it early tomorrow morning. Shatibile is going to have theirs. All right, Minister, don't worry about that. I'm going to take care of that. But he was a good man.
Thank you again, Minister.
You're welcome, Denny. All right.
So there you have it, the Minister of Sports here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Honorable Frederick Stevenson. Game number 1, there are 2 more to come, of course, on Thursday. Nepal once again will be taking on Windward Islands Volcanoes team right here at the Park Hill playing field. And the final game certainly will be on Saturday. Both games started for 10:30 a.m. starts. VC3, we will be here to bring to you live coverage. And certainly, of course, showing to you, the people here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the region, and the rest of the world, that this little gem we call SVG, we are certainly a beauty, a lot to offer, not just to cricket, but certainly a whole lot across the globe. I'm Anthony Denny, and on behalf of the entire VC3 team, thank you ever so much for being part of this broadcast. See you on Thursday when more cricket continues here at Park Hill.